What's good, Marvin Garden enthusiasts? We're back, bro. We're back. I don't care. I don't give a shit. We're back. Anyways, the New York Giants have made a horrific mistake by Flight Mike. Flight Mike, please don't copyright strike me, bro.
Looks like they got it done just before the deadline.
Daniel Jones, it is a 4-year deal worth $160 million. Daniel Jones gets a big-time
And we're up on stream. Go subscribe to the Complex Marvin Show YouTube channel.
The fateful day has
I'll be
come,
doing my
New York
business
Giants
streams
fans.
there.
The future of your roster is now set in stone, and we're here to discuss it. Look, I know what some people might say.
Mike, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Obviously, you're gonna have some bias against the New York Giants.
I think I've done a decent job historically analyzing each rival team in the NFC East with a complete lack of bias. As a matter of fact,
Facts.
the only
Yeah, man.
delusional
That
Dallas-
you can't be biased when it comes to talking about the rival teams. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't have a problem with the teams necessarily. I have a problem with the fans, and not necessarily from the Giants and Washington, because I don't really hear about fans from the Giants or the Commanders enough. But the Eagles fans, yeah, bro, y'all pissed me off, man. Y'all really destroyed your city when you won the Super Bowl in 2018. Like, I don't know, man.
Dallas Cowboy takes
Literally
I
committing
have is
crimes,
usually on
bro.
Twitter and
Crimes.
Instagram, and it's usually as a joke. But before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications. To help the
Facts.
channel grow.
Subscribe
I'm
to
on
both
3.5
channels, the
hours
Complex
of sleep
Marvin
right
Show
now,
and
we're dropping
Complex
3
Marvin
videos
Reacts
today, or at least 2.
Let's get
Now
it.
that we
Follow
got
the
all that out of the way,
Instagram, Complex Mario 15. I'll be returning to. Will I be returning to TikTok? I don't know. I generally don't want to, but I want to promote my stuff as much as possible. I might even start doing reels now on Instagram. So go follow. I'm gonna be returning to shorts
So
as
I've made
well.
almost $5,000 playing this game over the past couple months, and people are gonna send hitting Instagram. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I already know what people are gonna say. Daniel Jones just got the same exact contract that Dak Prescott
man.
got when Dak Prescott wanted
Y'all
the
can't say
contract
anything
extension.
about Dak
That's
now.
not
And
why
I'm not
I-
saying Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback by any means. But, bro, y'all were getting on the Cowboys for signing Dak to that contract, but
think this is a horrific mistake. Personally, the last time I appeared on this
They
channel,
franchise
I told you
tagged,
guys that the
Saquon.
New York Giants did a huge solid for Daniel Jones, and I don't think people are acknowledging how big of a favor the Giants did for Daniel Jones. I mean, instead of exercising his fifth year.
But for real, Daniel Jones, if you don't do good next year, you basically robbed the Giants. Real talk. So you better do good next year. Same with Dak, bro. If you don't do good next year, Dak, you basically robbed the Dallas Cowboys of their money. So both of y'all better do good. I better see Daniel Jones and Dak in the top, as like a top contenders for MVP next year. I better fucking see them.
Your option.
If I don't, then y'all both scammed two teams out of a lot of money.
Last year, which
We'll
is
talk.
an indication that they don't necessarily have a lot of faith in him potentially being the quarterback.
I
for the
better
future for
see y'all
New
in
York
the
Giants.
MVP votes.
Last year, I appeared on this channel.
I mean, in
and
the
told
top of the
you
MVP.
that the Giants are essentially giving Daniel Jones a prove-it year under Brian Dable, and if Brian Dable could give us a sequel to what he did with Josh Allen on the Buffalo Bills, but this time with Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, then you could potentially see Daniel Jones being the quarterback for the future for the Giants. And if it
Yeah, I
doesn't
could see
pan
it.
out, well,
He's
this
not bad.
upcoming NFL draft class has a pretty nice quarterback class. I mean, before I was kind of underhyping it, but given what Anthony Richardson did at the scouting
Yeah, he's
combine,
good, bro.
I'm
He's
absolutely
fast.
blown away, and I can't wait to start making some mock drafts for you guys because there's a lot of uncertainty at the top of the draft.
Should we
But my
react to
initial
one of the
theory
mock
was that
drafts?
They were tanking for Bryce Young, possibly. Bear in mind, this was a year ago, okay? And my argument for this was that every single time a brand new regime comes in, they usually try to get their guy, try to bring in a brand new quarterback, they try to bring in pieces that they want to build around. But in this instance, it seems like the New York Giants didn't opt to do that. They decided to bring in a head coach that is known as a quarterback development guru in Brian Dable, and they were trying to see
That was
if
smart.
Daniel Jones could live up to his potential in his 4th season in the NFL. And I want you guys to understand, in most situations that are similar to this, it wouldn't be atypical to see a brand new regime come in and decide to move on from Daniel Jones altogether. Daniel Jones was a Dave Gettleman draft pick. He didn't necessarily make the greatest decisions in terms of roster construction. And to be honest, I have to give Joe Schoen his props because I think he's done a masterful job.
Yeah, he's a good
retooling the
GM.
New York Giants. I mean, they made
You
it
need
to
to
the
get,
wild card and won the wild card game.
You need to get Daniel Jones some weapons, man. That's what y'all need to do this offseason.
And they were able to make it to the divisional round.
Whether it's T. Higgins, whether you have to draft somebody, just get him some weapons.
As a result of this, you may see some
and then y'all will be dangerous.
Jones. I mean, in any other situation, Daniel Jones may have gotten the Marcus Mariota
The Cowboys are going to need to step up big time, bro. Because, I mean, the Eagles are losing a lot of players, but our division's still going to be really good.
And that different from one another.
The Giants are going to be hell to go against.
Significantly higher expectations when he was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. But just like Daniel Jones, Marcus Mariota had to deal with a significant amount of head coaching turnover. I mean, there were years where he showed flashes of his potential, particularly in his second year in the league when he threw for over 3,400 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions for the Tennessee Titans. And on top of that, he added 350 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. As a result of the inconsistency that Marcus Mariota dealt with, in particular with the head coaching staff and all the new playbooks he had to learn.
Yeah, bro, it's trash, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
To his demise as a starting QB in the NFL. Marcus Mariota would then become a backup for the Las Vegas Raiders before getting his opportunity as a bridge quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Unfortunately, that didn't necessarily go as planned. I don't really know what Mariota's future looks like at this point. I felt like the Falcons was his best opportunity to potentially become a starter again, but unfortunately, that wasn't the reality. My point being that Daniel Jones,
I don't know why the Falcons have completely moved on from Desmond Ridder, man.
A brand new general manager.
He's only had 1 year. Like, just give him a little bit more time to at least see if he's good or not. I don't know.
A new coach come in, look at him and say, hey, I want to bench you for the guy that we're developing / the guy that we want to go out and sign, or the guy that we drafted recently. Luckily for Daniel Jones, there wasn't that deep of a quarterback class last year, so they decided to run it with Daniel Jones. And as a result, he improved significantly. Bear in mind, he did this with like no wide receivers at all whatsoever. They traded Kadarius Toney in the middle of the season. They overpaid Kenny Golladay a while ago, and they recently released him, and he didn't really do anything. Sterling Shepard got injured in the middle of the season. So Daniel Jones's achievements were very significant considering the fact that he didn't really have many people to throw the football to. So I could understand why his potential is exciting. Throwing for over 3,000 passing yards, 67% completion, 15 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, while also adding 708 yards rushing on the ground. That's a huge reason to be excited. At the same time, you have to understand, it's not like the moment Daniel Jones was going to get released, there was going to be some team that would pursue him right away and say, hey, Daniel Jones, you have so much potential. Let's sign you and build a team around you. No, he'd be a backup. Once you leave your original team, you're kind of perceived as damaged goods. Just look at what happened with Josh Rosen and the Arizona Cardinals. He gets traded to the Miami Dolphins. They didn't really give him much of a chance there either. I don't want to get into the whole debate about whether Josh Rosen was bad or whether he didn't get an opportunity.
What is going to happen with Josh Rosen? Where does he even play? The Falcons, I think?
He doesn't really have a lot of opportunities to succeed. Look at what happened with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, for instance. You get my point. So my initial hope was that the New York Giants and Daniel Jones
are the Rams going to keep Mayfield
a little bit below, or at least what Derek Carr was going to get from the New Orleans Saints. And recently Derek Carr did.
Oh my gosh, I miss football already, dude. And it hasn't even been a month.
Making $37.5 million a year with a no trade clause. Congrats to Derek. So I expected the New York Giants to potentially build a team around Daniel Jones and get a significant discount for Daniel Jones' services because of the huge solid they did for this young man. I mean, Daniel Jones potentially went from signing a 1-year, $10 million contract to, well, he ended up getting a $40 million contract, but I would imagine him being stoked at the concept of him making $30 million a year annually, and that would give the Giants capital to build a really freaking good team around it. That's not the route he opted for. His agents asked for $45 million a year, a little bit over 45 at a specific point, and eventually they decided to settle on a number. And by the way, Daniel Jones's situation being solved also gives us a resolution to Saquon Barkley. So here we go. According to Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, the New York Giants have agreed to a contract extension with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is going to be on the books for 4 years and $160 million with $82 million guaranteed at signing per sources, and there's another $35 million.
That is a lot of money, man.
Saquon Barkley is currently at $10.1 million on the franchise tag. quarterback. I'll give the Giants props because they got this done before any other quarterback could potentially sign an extension. They got it done before Lamar Jackson's situation got dealt with. They got it done before Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, or Jalen Hurts got a contract extension. And I also will give them props because I think franchise tagging Saquon Barkley was the right move. If you ever have a stud halfback and it's time to extend him, opt for the franchise tag. Hell, tag him twice if you have to. Tag him 3 times if you have to. It's never worth paying a running back a long-term salary. Take it from the Cowboys. Oh my God. I love the tagging of Saquon Barkley because he's awesome, but his availability is a little volatile. And for that, I give him an A+. For the Daniel Jones deal, I have to give the Giants like a C-. A lot of Giants fans are saying that we're paying him for his potential. And a part of me does understand that. At the same time, I was hoping that there would be some sort of understanding between the Giants and Daniel Jones, that Daniel Jones would be making $10 million a year if it wasn't for the New York Giants coming in and deciding, hey, we're going to give you another shot with a quarterback guru so you could show us what you're made of. I would have liked to see a $30 to $35 million a year contract personally, but it's not the worst contract in the world. It's just not a home run for the Giants. This is the exact same amount that Dak Prescott is making, but it's a little different. There's $82 million guaranteed, which means after 2 years, if Daniel Jones isn't the answer for the New York Giants, then they could move on. So essentially what the Giants are telling Daniel Jones is, hey, you're either our bridge quarterback or you're gonna be the guy. And it's up to you to give us some clarity on that situation over the next 2 years. I personally think it was a horrific mistake because if I am banking on a player to develop even further, I would much rather select a player in this upcoming NFL draft. I mean, if Brian Dable is a quarterback guru, do you think it would make sense for him to select a QB with tremendous upside and some great physical tools like Anthony Richardson, for instance, and try to develop him while he's on a rookie scale contract and not have to pay him $40 million a year annually to develop him? That's just my
comparing
philosophy
Anthony
here.
Richardson
Daniel
to
Jones
Patrick
has tremendous
Mahomes.
potential.
I don't know about all that,
At this
but
point, when he's getting
bro
this
is
type
fast.
of contract,
I don't
you wanna
know
the type of player he is. And after 4 years, when he's at the age of 25,
I'm looking forward to the draft for sure, man. It's going to be very interesting.
That, hey, we're still developing this young man. I understand you didn't nail your head coaches before. Your general manager was an idiot prior to this. You don't want to give up on Daniel Jones too quickly. But the pro of not giving up on Daniel Jones too quickly was, one, yes, of course, he possesses tremendous potential. But two, there'd be some gratitude for the fact that you saved this man's career and his agents would hopefully give you a hometown discount of some sort. I personally would have liked to see as much money or a little bit more than what Geno Smith makes. But so this contract actually makes Daniel Jones the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL, primarily because he has the same contract as Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford do, but Matthew Stafford has $135 million guaranteed. Dak got $95 million guaranteed. Derek Carr has more money guaranteed, but he's making less over the lifespan of his contract, so he's the 10th highest paid QB in the NFL. At the surface, I do wish he would have given the Giants a bit more of a discount, but now I'm thinking after the more recent contract extensions that are going to come to quarterbacks, I mean, once Jalen Hurts gets paid, once Tua gets paid, once Joe Burrow gets paid, once Justin Herbert gets paid, his contract might actually look pretty nice. So I don't know how I feel about this in general. A part of me feels like it was a mistake, but I could also see the logic to it. So if you're a New York Giants fan in particular, I would like to get your take on this situation in the comment section down below.
Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.
Dropping our mic.
If you're a Giants fan or any fan. We'll see y'all next time. I'm out. Subscribe to the Complex Marvin Show YouTube.